Welcome to Knife Chats. If you like this video, please take a moment to leave a comment. Thank you. I have a fondness for equal end pen knives, especially the ones that have the old metal scales with the animal scenes on them. I did a video on this particular one a while back, but I thought I'd do a little bit of updating on it as I start doing more videos on my equal end pen knives. And so what you'll see in this is part of the old video and then some new information about these particular knives. Hope you like it.
Today I'm going to talk about the Boker Tree Brand Classic knife that was discontinued. It's the 414 pattern, or the hound dog knife, or also called a hunting scene knife. This knife was made back in either the 1980s or 1990s. You're not going to find them in stores unless you're very fortunate these days. You're more likely to run across them on eBay or at a flea market or at a swap meet, and they tend to go for somewhere around $40 to $60. And that's for the ones that are in excellent to mint condition, with or without the box. I was fortunate enough to get one for $25 mint in the box, but that also took me about 4 years of being very patient in my bidding on eBay. So, and basically just lucking out. After getting the knife, I realized why people were paying $40 for the knife, simply because of the quality of the knife. These knives were originally made back in the 30s, and then Boker started remaking them in the 80s or 90s. And what you have on it is your hound dog in the middle, pheasants on one side, a duck on the other side, and the pheasants are in the grass, and you can see the detail of the grass. Same thing with the duck in the water. You can see the details of the water. All fine engraving. It's very clean. It's very crisp, and it just really pops when you're looking at it. The alloy steel that they're using on it is just really top quality. You get the same scene on both sides. Both sides are very clean, very crisp. You can make out all the details of the dog. You can see his ears and everything else, and even the beading going around the edges is really nice and clean. Well pinned. They're nice and smooth. There's no rough bumps or anything to it, so it's a real quality build knife. Nice stainless steel back spring, highly polished, very clean, very crisp again. And you have your two blades on it. A highly polished Spearmaster. I believe it's made with 440 steel, and on the other side you have your small pin blade. Dimensions all around, I believe it's about 3.25 inches from end to end when it's closed on this cigar little pattern, and then 2.75 inch Spearmaster, and about a 1.25, 1.5 inch pin blade on the other side. So it's basically your basic equal end pen knife, but the scales are what sets it apart, and the scales on these knives are just beautiful. Boker did a fantastic job when they re-released this. It would be great if they were to remake them again, but I got a feeling that's a long time coming. So in the meantime, you're just going to have to get them on eBay and pay a hefty penny for them. But they're well worth the price you'll be paying for them. The quality of the build is fantastic. At the same time, you have to be careful though, because they also have this knife, which looks very similar to the Boker, but it's an unbranded knife made in China. And there are definite differences between the two. The Boker is probably about 1/8 of an inch thick. The Chinese version is about 3/16 of an inch thick, so it's quite a bit thicker than the Boker. Also, the blade, they're not nearly as polished as the Boker. It also wobbles a little bit, and the problem with it is this blade, the pin blade, is marked China in it, but I was just able to rub with my finger and China came off. It was just pad stamped with a little bit of ink, and that was the only marking on it. So it would be easy for someone to then go and be very nefarious and put a Boker Tree Brand stamp here on the blade and try and pass these Chinese made versions off as the Boker. but as you can tell, the engraving isn't nearly as clear as what you get in a Boker knife. So you just have to pay close attention, and you'll see that there is a difference between the two. The luster is just not nearly the same as what you have with the Boker knife either. So nice representation of the hunting knife, but it's a $7 copy of the Boker. The Boker is much cleaner, much nicer looking, so you can tell the difference, but it's hard to spot those differences when you're doing a bidding on eBay. So be very careful, be very wary when you're bidding on eBay, and buy it from a reputable dealer, because this knife definitely worth the $40 to $60 you might pay, but the Chinese copy definitely worth the $7 you should pay. So keep that in mind. But if you can get one of these Boker knives, and if you collect this pattern of knife, you'll be really pleased with the Boker. It's just a fantastic little knife.
I thought I'd close by showing some close-up pictures of the knife so that you could see just how crisp and clean the engraving is on it. Here you see the ducks and the ducks in flight. The hound dog in the middle, and notice the nicely rounded rivet there. And here you see an extreme close-up of the pheasants or the grouses or turkeys, whatever the ground birds are that were also engraved in there with the grasses and such. And here you see the Boker Sologen Germany Rostfrei tank stamp with the Boker tree next to it. And if you made it this far, then you deserve to see the specifications on the knife in both inches and millimeters. It was made in Germany. The handle material is one of those things that I'm not certain about. I know it's some kind of alloy, possibly nickel silver, but it could also be just stainless steel or aluminum or something also, possibly even pewter. It's really hard to tell. And as I haven't heard from Boker, I really can't answer that question. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Knife Chats, and if you did, please like and share it with your friends. Comments are always welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode of Knife Chats is up online. Thanks again. Hope to see you soon.